As I went out to do this USO event today, I was in the van and we're riding out there with Herschel Walker. And I don't know Herschel Walker. With that said, I have known him for a number of years. He's in the MMA circle. We met a number of years ago, but I don't know that I could say that I know him. Now I think I could. I spent the entire day with him and we visited the whole time. But this was very interesting for me. So look, let me tell you what I know about Herschel Walker. When I was 5th and 6th and 7th grade, this guy was setting the world on fire. And my buddy Justin and I were big football guys, and we wanted to be football players and all the stuff that kids want to do, and we finally were able to play. And Herschel was the guy. I mean, you would read about him. This is the guy you would see on Sundays. This is the guy that was getting the media attention. So I didn't know a whole lot about him other than he was an amazing football player, and I seem to remember that he made a bobsled team in 1992 for the United States Olympic team. So I know he's a wildly successful athlete, but this is all I know. So he ends up in his foray into MMA with Strikeforce at the time. He fights at like 50 or 51 years old. He makes his debut. He does it one time, one and done, but all the same, he won. He goes out there, he trains for it, he weighs in, he makes the walk. 3 rounds later, he gets his hand raised. So I could stop the story right there. I mean, what an incredible athletic success. When I spent time with him today, he had mentioned it had come up. And he said that, something that I never hear anybody talk about. Most people don't even know this about me. I was on the Olympic team in 1980 for track and field. If you guys will remember, Jimmy Carter was the president. 1980 was in Russia. The U.S. was having conflicts with Russia, so Carter boycotted the Olympics. So all of our athletes got screwed out of their opportunity. So he didn't get to go to the Olympics, but he was on the Olympic team. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't know how old you are, but you got to be about 58 years old, 1980. I'm trying to do the math in my head, and I go, Herschel, you must have been 19 years old. And he said, yeah, that sounds right. He said, I can't remember if I was coming out of my sophomore year or going into my sophomore year in college. Just real calmly. And I go, well, were you the NCAA champion? And he goes, yeah, I was the NCAA champion. I'm like, okay, hold on. You were the NCAA champion? You were the United States Olympian? Yeah, nobody talks about that. That's a lifetime achievement accomplished. Either one of those, let alone put them together. He did so many things in football. Heisman, went off to Dow. All these other things in his sports career that never got mentioned. So he said that he does 1,000 push-ups a day, and then he was showing me how he does them. He changes his hands, he moves his grip. He doesn't believe in just doing them straight because you work the same muscle, and while you can maintain that muscle, you can't grow. And so he was showing me how he does it. He says he does about 1,000 push-ups a day, and he said that takes him an hour. So, he takes breaks and he does sets and all that. And then he says he does 3,500 sit-ups a day, every day, and that takes him a half hour. And he bangs that all out at once, never stops once he starts. Says he works out twice a day, every day, never misses. And he's only taken one nap in his whole life, and he even remembered when it was. He even remembered when his nap was. He was doing something with a fire department, something along these lines, and they had him in a simulation type thing, and he was in this tight crawl space that you couldn't move, and it was totally black, no lights, and he had to find his way out, and he had all the gear on, and said he was so claustrophobic, sweaty and tired and scared. He went home and took a nap. So he'd taken one nap. Then it turns out that he's a business guy, and he's got one of the largest chicken distribution businesses in the United States of America. So, this guy was just fascinating. Everything he said, just going through the gears. I'm going, man, you're one of the most interesting guys I've ever been around. We get to the military base, and we go to their unarmed combat. Basically their fight training. A big mat laid out, just like a workout room. And, coaches and the guys are doing workouts, and guys want to work out with Herschel. Hey, Herschel, come on, tag in here. He didn't miss a beat. Slipped his shoes off, no warm-up, no stretching, no anything. He's close to 60 years old. Dropped right in, started rolling rounds with the Marines. So that was kind of the highlight of my day. I thought it was very cool. I thought you guys would appreciate that, right? I think I could tell any one of those stories and brag on a guy a little bit and have your interest. But any one of them. Track and field, NCAA champion, Olympian. I'm so sorry. I'm remiss. I didn't tell you guys the bobsled story. So he tells how he, and I remembered this part I did remember of his career, that he made the 1992 Olympic bobsled team. Well, he tells the story how he gets a phone call one day, and it was from some teammate, and I could name drop and you guys would recognize the name. It was like Emmett Smith, or it was a name that you would know though. And calls him up on the phone and says, hey, you want to go try out? Go with me, we'll try out for the Olympic bobsled team. And Herschel says, yeah, I'll do that. So the guy says, okay, I'll take care of everything. Gets off the phone. So the guy goes and gets the plane tickets and the hotels, and they got to go to Lake Placid and this whole thing. So the guy calls him back like a month later and goes, hey, I'm out. I'm not doing it. Whatever had happened, the guy's like, I'm out. I hurt my leg, not doing the Olympic trials thing for bobsled. But you got to go, and it's this weekend. And Herschel's like, what are you talking about? What's bobsled? And the guy goes, bobsled team. Called you a month ago. You said you wanted to do it. I got the tickets. And Herschel's like, man, I don't even know what a bobsled is. The guy's like, you're committed, and you're going to Lake Placid on Saturday. So Herschel goes through with it. He goes out to Lake Placid. Now here's the way the bobsled team worked. I didn't know this. So you don't form a team and then go do. It's not your team versus 4 other guys that have a bobsled team versus 4 other guys that have a bobsled team. It's not like that. Each position. So you got the driver, you got the pusher, you got the steer. Each position you have to try out for. Then if you become the nation's driver, then you made the Olympic team for drive. Now other guys got to try out for the steer, and other guys got to try out for the pushers. Whoever makes those spots, they then bring those 4 together and go, okay, you're the team. So when Herschel got out there, all he had to do to be the pusher is grab a sled and push it to the other side faster than everybody else that was trying to do it. That's all he had to do. Well, as it turned out, he just happened to have a skill to do that, right? Big, strong legs, super fast. I mean, all these different things. Good athlete. He grabbed the sled, pushed it faster than everybody else, becomes a national champion, and they assign him to the Olympic team. So he goes back to the hotel, and he's walking down this hallway, and he sees there's this meeting going on, and he recognizes some guys in there. So he opens the door, and he stands in the back of the room. Well, the meeting's about him. He didn't even know they're having a meeting. He walks in, they're talking about him, and they're saying, hey, you got to take the spot away from him. You can't send Herschel Walker. He didn't even know what bobsled is. He doesn't know the rules. He doesn't know how it worked. He hasn't earned this. All that you do away with the process and take his spot away. So he speaks up from the back of the room and goes, hey, you guys are right. I don't know anything about bobsledding. You guys have been doing this 8 years. I've been doing this 2 weeks, and I beat all of you guys. So instead of kicking me off the team, how about we do the opposite and we come together as a team and you teach me the rules and you make me even better at this since I just beat all of you guys. Well, it was kind of hard to argue with. So they put him on the team, and he spent the next 10 weeks training for the Olympics in bobsled. Interesting story. Very interesting story.